All right, all right, Sam. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Abib. How you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Yeah, yeah, man. Yes, time is running so quickly. Like, can't believe it's 2 weeks already. Like, that was so quick, man. Yeah, yeah, man. So, how have you been? How have you been, man? Yeah. I mean, the usual as well, right? But I think I've been having fun. I think that's what I would say. And I've been a bit busy, but the kind of busy that I enjoy. So yeah, that's what I can say. Yeah, and also I just a quick one for our audience. So I decided to tone down with the lo-fi music. So if you are not hearing lo-fi today, see, we are kind of experimenting. So I think it just might be better without the lo-fi. But let's see how this go. And if it doesn't work too well, maybe in the next episode we could bring back the lo-fi music. Yeah, because I know some people might want to ask that. Yeah, where's your lo-fi music? Right. So I think that's a quick update, and also another update. So I worked on my network, so we shouldn't be having breakup like the last episode today. So hopefully everything goes really, really well today. And thank you so much, guys, for enjoying with us as well, right? Because you guys have been very patient and understanding, given the fact that we told you guys that we are not like the best of streamers. But I mean, people still come, people still stay with us, and yeah, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So let me quickly change my screen now. I think we're done with this timer. Please, guys, if you have any better looking timer than this, please just let me know. Because I actually searched, but this is like the best I could come up with. This countdown stuff. I've seen it like a couple of streamers use it, and it's actually nice. But I've not seen countdown as nice as as the one I've seen those guys use. And I can't remember where it's like the places I've seen it to go and check the name of the web application. So please, if you have like any nice looking countdown, please just drop in the comment section so I can see it, and then um so that next episode we'll have like better looking countdown. Yeah. So thank you, guys. So I think we are good to go, and we can start properly now. So let's just do a quick introduction for those who might not know us. So my name is Emmanuel Akobe Ajibolu, and I'm a penetration tester here at Cyber Plural, right? And yeah, I'm a very interesting person. I'm a very proud Christian. I'm very vocal about my faith. And yeah, I think I'm a very handsome guy. Let me add that. Yeah, right. Okay, right. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about me. And myself and my colleague here have been the one anchoring on Hack Wednesday. For those who might just be coming across Hack Wednesday for the first time, so Hack Wednesday is like a hacking stream that we have every second and fourth Wednesday. of each month, right? Where we try to give back to the community, we try to hack, and we try to make it as casual as possible, right? So yeah, it's not going to be anything too serious. So all we just want to do is just learn, have fun in a very chill manner, and at the same time hack some fun stuff together. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it about me. I'm going to leave my colleague Habib let my colleague Habib introduce himself now. Thank you. Uh, yeah, yeah, man. Thank you. We have some new members. I can see some new names in the comment section. So big shout out to Alan. We have Alan here, and we have Adeyemi Samo. So thank you guys for joining us today. I mean, our audience is growing, so you guys are welcome, welcome, welcome. So just a quick one. A big shout out to the management team of Cyber Plura for making this opportunity possible for us, right? For granting young interesting boys like us or men like us the chance to use the organization YouTube channel to do something like this, right? And giving us the platform to do this. So big shout out to them. And so please, in case you're interested in anything cyber security, right? Cyberpura is a managed security service provider located in Nigeria, in the city of Abuja, right? Please, you can send us a mail for any of your security need, from offensive security to defensive security to governance, risk and compliance, right? Anything security, that's what we do, right? So you guys feel free to send us a mail at hello@cyberplural.com, and we will be more than happy to help you meet your security needs. So thank you. And yes, thank you, my bosses. If you guys ever listen to this, right? They might be somewhere listening to this, right? You guys are the best. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's just pick up from where we stopped the last time, right? So we started a new episode on API security. Okay, and we did introduction the last time where we spoke more about documentation, right? API documentation, understanding what API is. I think that was where we spent most of our time. We try to help those who might be new to API understand what exactly API is, right? And we also spoke about documentation. We spoke about the two types of documentation, and I was so happy when Abi brought a particular resource that helped our users see, like visually see what human readable documentation is, and what um, machine readable documentation is. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we are going to be picking up from where we stopped last week today. And hopefully, we get to carry out hacking, right? We get to carry out lab for today. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, man. I mean, like most time people are always like, look, like, can you just like get to the hacking part. Can you just skip to the good part? So yeah, we are going to be doing that today, right? So it's going to, I mean, like we always try to do in our sessions, right? We try to strike the right balance between theory and practical, right? So in as much as it's good for us to hack stuff, hack stuff, hack stuff, we also want to spend enough time explaining why things are the way they are, right? And also very important to us is also explaining our thought process because we believe like others could actually learn, pick our brain, right, and probably adopt it in their own test, whether CTF, pen test, engagement, or what have you. Yeah, but before we get to that, right, um, APIs, right? I think we spoke about this the last time, but people don't. I think like a lot of persons still don't understand like how important it is to carry out API testing in this day and age, right? You agree with me, Abib, that we've seen like some very interesting stuff during the course of certain engagements when it comes to API, right? Yes, I think I just wanted to let that out. Right, like I think right now when it comes to testing, API is like the hot thing, right? Like, but yeah, yeah, man, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's get to PortSwigger and let's proceed. So I'll just be read, then we'll probably explain, right? And then we continue the same way and manner we've been doing it before. So I think we did this part already the last time. So APIs are usually documented so that developers know how to use and integrate with them. Right? Documentation can be in both human readable and machine readable form. Human readable documentation is designed for developers to understand how to use the API. It may include detailed explanations, examples, and usage scenarios. The machine readable documentation is designed to be processed by software for automating tasks like API integration and validation. It is written in structured format like JSON or XML. API documentation is often publicly available, particularly if the API is intended for use by external developer. If this is the case, always start your recon by reviewing the documentation. Okay, so Habib, I'll leave you to talk about this before I add my tukubu. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with what you've said, right? You've explained it perfectly well, right? I think the little thing I would just want to add is touching on the last paragraph, right? Uh, in the last paragraph, he said, if this is the case, sorry, API documentation is often publicly available, particularly if the API is intended for use by external developers, right? If this is the case, right, always start your recon by reviewing the documentation. So I think personally speaking, right, this is one thing I've come to learn, right, that like most time when we just start engagement, right, is always tempting to just get to the hacking phase, right. Like let me just sit down, let me start hunting for some common vulnerabilities and stuff like that, right. But like it is very important, right? Like recon is actually, I feel like people scream a lot about recon, right? But even with all the noise about how important it is to carry out proper recon and understanding of the application that we are testing, it's still not enough, right? Like recon is not this, like I don't think you can ever talk about recon enough, right? So I think one thing I've actually told myself, and I always try as much as possible to force myself to do, although it might look at times like I am being slow, right, is to first sit down, go through the documentation, right, before even setting requests, probably before setting my base URL and stuff. I just want to understand what the API is meant to do, right? Then from there, I can start creating like mental map of possible scenarios, right? Of possible expectation and stuff, right? So even before like trying to expect anything, like I mean, it's only when you understand what the API is meant to do that you can try to make it do what it's not supposed to do. So like there's no sense in carrying out a test on an API that you don't even understand, right? So I feel like this is very, very important. As subtle as this information seems, right, is actually like very, very key. Like you want to start by reviewing the documentation. The documentation is not just meant to be imported into Postman, right? After importing the documentation into Postman, or even before importing into Postman, right, you want to go through the Swagger file, you want to read it. Okay, this is what this endpoint is meant for, this is what this endpoint is meant for, and all those stuff. You get? Yeah, I think so. That is what I want to add. Yeah, man. Thank you, boss. So yeah, um, discovering API documentation. Okay, so let's assume like maybe it's black box or gray box, and we are not being supplied with the API documentation. So how do we go about this? So even if API documentation isn't openly available, you may still be able to access it by browsing applications that use the API. To do this, you can use Bob Scanner to crawl the API. You can also browse applications manually using Bob browser. Then look for endpoints that may refer to API documentation. For example, you want to look for slash API, you want to look for slash swagger slash index.html, you want to look for slash open API dot JSON. Okay. Oh, all right. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting to know that Habib is not audible. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to our notice, guys. Please, Habib, can you try reading through the documentation? Let the guys, please give us feedback if you can hear Habib. Thank you. Okay. I think let me just wait for their comments. Guys, please, can you hear Habib now? Please, can you let us know if you can hear Habib? Okay, still waiting. Okay, Adeyemi Samuel is still saying he can't hear you. I think they're still saying they can't hear. Oh man, let's see. Okay, let's try again. Abib, can you try to read the text again? Let's see. So guys, please let's just know if you can hear Abib now. Okay. Please, is he audible now? Guys. Okay. Okay, I'm coming. Oh, they're still saying no. Oh my god. Why was it this today? Okay, give me a minute, guys. Let me try and fix it. Okay. We have to do some just like Habib said, he likes to what is it? Habib said he likes to do support. That means he likes to do some troubleshooting. So let's quickly do some troubleshooting on stream. Let's quickly do some troubleshooting on stream. Okay. Okay, give me a minute, guys. Let me see where the error is coming from. Happy, please, can you try reading the um first two paragraph again? Let's see if it. Okay. Yeah, it's still not audible. Like, try like almost everything. You come, let's give it another try again. Come, let's give it another try again. Okay. I was even thinking Paul was referring to me. Okay, guys. Habib. So I think I found a fix, right, for missing audio from your part. But then that will require us to end this stream and restart it again. So, guys, um, okay, guys, Habib. So, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I found another fix. Something just popped up in my mind. Sorry, guys, please just forgive us. Uh, I have an idea now. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'm going to use another audio output source for you. Okay, so the idea just popped up in my mind. So I think that will fix the problem. Okay, so Okay. Um, Habib.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Um, yeah, can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, I think this might work. So guys, please can you hear Habib now? Can you let me know if you can hear Habib now?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, thank you. I just got feedback that they can hear you now, Habib. So
Perfect, awesome.
all right, thank you, Alan. Someone is asking if they can download the video after this class. So it's not a class; we are just having fun, right? But yes, the video is available on the YouTube channel. You can just go through the channel. You should see the video there, right? Okay. All right. So everybody's saying yes. So nice, 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 nice troubleshooting
Yeah,
on stream. But it's sad that we sacrificed our time for this. Okay, sorry about that, guys.
yeah,
Sincerely
appreciate you
apologize.
guys, sticking around.
Yeah, cause this
And
thing
we
was
apologize for that.
this thing was working. This thing was working in the last stream, and all of a sudden,
It
here we are.
just, yeah, it's decided.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, computer will always be computer. Okay,
Yeah,
so even if API documentation isn't openly available, you may still be able to access it by addressing applications that use the API. Okay, so to do this, you can use Bob's scanner that crawls the web, okay, which is one option. You can also browse applications manually using Bob's browser. Okay, then you could look for endpoints that may refer to API documentation. For example, you could look for slash API slash swagger slash index.html slash openapi.json. Okay, if you identify an endpoint for a resource, make sure to navigate the base part. So for example, if you identify the resource endpoint slash API slash swagger slash v1 slash user slash 123, then you should navigate the following parts, right? So you move from like top down. So remove slash user slash 123 up to v1 to see, maybe you can see the documentation for, maybe it's on the base URL, right? Maybe the documentation for version 1. I mean, you also want to check if there's a version 2, right? So usually when there's something pointing version 1, there just might be version 2 or version 0 or whatever it is. So yeah, if you don't get anything there, you want to go take a step backward again, check slash API slash swagger. If you still don't get anything there, then you go back to like the base URL, which is the starting URL. Let's not call it the base URL because that might be confusing, right? Slash starting URL, which is slash API, right? You can also use a list of common paths to find documentation using intruder. Okay, yeah. So Habib, they've not been hearing you. Let them hear your voice now. What do you have to say?
good, yeah, thank you about that. And, okay, so um, this is the typical thing, you want to look out for when you're, you know, starting your engagement or probably like in your recon phase. So you can do this manually, just like it's described here. Like you can based on my experience, to be honest, like most uh, you know web applications are API powered or driven. Most of them usually store like your API documentation in Europe path, such as slash API slash docs. So you
Yeah.
typically find it like hidden at the very base of the URL, basically. Like as you can see in this example, it's a slash API. If you don't find it there, then you want to look at another directory after that, which is like slash API slash docs. Either one of those two, you'd find like the API documentation hidden. That's if it's not protected. So, and the other thing is that you can also use open source tools such as FUF,
Yeah.
FFUF. I don't know if
Yeah.
audience are familiar with that. This can help you fuzz or like can help you automate the your search for potential API documentations that are hidden as well on the on the API server. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Right. Yeah, so just like Habib has explained, right? Usually, okay, I think let me take a step back from what you've explained, right? I think for me, if I'm like talking about how I usually do my test when we're just starting, right? So if you don't have like, because what this is talking about is, let's say for example, you are not being supplied with the API documentation, that is the Swagger file, the JSON file, whatever it is, right? And you don't have anything to import into Postman. So I believe this is just depicting a scenario of trying to hunt down the API, right? So first of all, right, there will probably be something in the URL that is going to hint you that there's an API somewhere, right? Okay. Um, then after that, right, after that, if I've seen that maybe there's an API somewhere, just like we explained that once you can see indicators like slash API, right, there are certain implications that will tell you, there are certain indicators rather that will tell you that there's an API somewhere in the what is it called, in the in the application, right? And we say like documentation, like this part of the explanation is explaining that you could either get the documentation at slash API or slash swagger slash index.html or slash open API.json. Okay, then let's say we don't have this, right? So if you identify an endpoint for a resource, make sure to investigate this. So let's say while browsing through the application, then I saw like a URL, maybe in my Bob history, like slash API slash swagger slash v1, right? Okay, this slash API is like an indicator, it's a strong indicator that there's an API in that particular application, whether web application or mobile application, right? So because if you are doing like mobile application pen testing, right, you have to connect your probably Android emulator or whatever emulator it is that you're using. You connect it to your proxy tool, right? In order for you to track the request that is coming into and leaving the test environment, right? And from there, if I should identify something like this and I want to hunt down the documentation, right? This is like manual, like at the very beginning stage, just like quick check, right? Then I want to take out these first parts, which will leave me with this, right? Which is what we have here. Then if I don't have the documentation here, then I'll take out slash v1. Then I'll be left with this. If I still don't have anything, then I'll have to go to like the starting point, which is slash API, right? So I mean, like this is like the first call to action, right? But I mean, if you don't find anything, then you want to use like automated tools, right? Right. So maybe Bob intruder to force for possible directory, or just like Habib has mentioned, you want to force for using FOF, right? FFUF, right? So yeah, very, very correct. And I must mention, like in the last couple of engagements, Habib has been the one digging out the documentation even before I get to find them. So yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a team effort. So
This is just you trying to be humble.
thank
It's
you
a
for
team
that.
effort. It's a team effort. All
All
right.
right. So this Another thing I'd just like to add is that just for your audience in case like when you're going against like a web application that's API driven, like there are other things that you could use to like identify that okay this web app is driven or powered by an API. So mostly like the way you typically want to like identify that is when you have your verb suite, which is a proxy that you typically want to use to like send traffic that are going between that is going back and forth between the web browser and the server. Uh, if you intercept one of the requests, chances are like if you see the URL that starts with /API, just like Manuel mentioned earlier, uh, there are other things that you could use to identify that, okay, yeah, this web app actually is powered by an API. You could look at things like in the request header. You want to look out for things like the content type header. If it says application/JSON or application/XML, like these two are also points of identification that okay, a web application is driven by an API. Or you can look out for the authorization header. If the authorization header has a token that starts with EY and it's divided into three parts by two periods, then this type of token of format or scheme is JOTS, like JWT. So if you're seeing these things, then you know that okay, yeah, this web application is powered or driven by an API. So that's just my 2 cents. Wanted to chip in.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. So yeah, I mean, having said this, I think now we are in the part everybody has been waiting for. So first lab,
Yeah.
right? So exploiting an API endpoint using documentation. Okay, so to solve the lab, find the exposed API documentation and delete Carlos. Okay, you can wait. Sorry, just a quick one. Is this pronounced as Carlos or Carlos? Because
Uh, either one works, to be honest. Carlos, some people say Carlos. It depends.
okay, so it's
So
like tomato.
yeah,
Okay,
it's kind of like that.
okay, but I mean, let me hear from you guys. Like, can anybody try to drop like the pronunciation in the comment section? But please don't use all those English signs, please. Please. Please don't use all those English signs or all those things that I will not be able to read. I beg. Okay. Okay, someone said anyone. Ray says anyone works, right? Tomato.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as you
Okay.
understand what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah, as long as the
that's
message is being
important.
passed, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so you can log into your own into your own account using the following credentials. So Winner and Peter. Okay, so to solve the lab, right, you need this knowledge, which we've done. We've done what we know what API is. We know how API documentation may be useful to an attacker, right? So it helps us understand what the application is doing, right? And then gives us insight about the application and then how to discover API documentation. So we've done this as well. So this point, so we've done this. So let's assess the lab and let's see. Let's see. Let's get to the good parts. Okay. I like almost every time I come to like PortSwigger's lab, like this image I always just they always
yeah.
wow me.
It's
I
like
never get used to this image. Like I'm just like, bro, what were you guys thinking to come up with all this interesting stuff? Right?
yeah,
Like just take a look at this guy. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to copy this. I need to bring up my Bob suits. Okay. So I'm going to bring up my Bob suits browser as well. So guys, please let me know if you can see my Bob suits. Okay, please can you see my Bob suits? Okay, we have a comment from Agwamba Emmanuel. He said it's Carlos, right? Carlos.
Yeah,
Okay.
Carlos. Yeah, a couple of people pronounce it that way as well.
Okay. So here's what I'll do quickly. I'm just going to bring up my pop suits. Then I'll navigate to proxy. Let's just use Bob browser. So let me open browser. Let's see. Okay. Um, okay. Oh, someone is asking if it's Bob suits. Yes, it is Bob suits. Yeah, I think I know how to pronounce that one correctly. Okay, so guys, yeah, I want to believe you guys can see my Bob browser, right? So I'll be using my Bob browser to, what is it called, for this lab. So first thing, let's visit the web application from the Bob browser, right? So this Bob browser is actually connected to my Bob suite. Okay, so it is connected to to it is connected to this Bob suite that you can see, right? So like all traffic on that particular browser is being tunneled through Bob suite, right? It's passing through Bob proxy, right? It's being tunneled through Bob proxy. So I think I need to mention this quickly. So I remember when I just started, right? Then um, I used to turn on my intercept, right? Turn on intercept, and then I'll start browsing, doing stuff. Then I'll come and start manually forwarding, and all those kind of stuff, right? Right. So for those who might still be doing that, right? Just this, because this was very mind blowing to me when I finally realized, right? You can just turn off your intercept, right? So if you need any request, just come to your HTTP history to get your request, right? So you don't have to spend a lot of time forwarding requests here and inspecting things, right? So just to make your life easier, just come to get whatever you need at HTTP history, and then you can just quickly forward to repeater and then do whatever it is that you want to do, right? So I feel I quickly need to say that, right? So yeah, so I'm just going to bring back my browser, right? And then we are going to try to log into the using our credential, right? So let's log in. We got the credential winner and Peter, right? And then we'll try to browse through the application and see if we can identify any API. Okay. Okay, so it's stuck. Sorry, I left my intercept on. So turn it off, please. Okay, right. So winner, right? I believe I spelled it correctly. Is E before I, right?
Yeah.
Then login.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it's I
It's
before
I
E.
where you turn.
Okay, So this is why I just prefer to copy and paste.
Yeah.
It, okay, so login. Okay, yeah. So this is successful, right? So what we can do here now, um, okay, so we have the ability to update email, right? Let's just, I mean, also another thing we try to do is first understand the website, right? We like to say just fill the website, right? So just click buttons around. Right? I mean, from this task, we already know what we are supposed to do, right? But if we're looking at this like normal pen test engagement, right, would have just gone, be clicking different buttons on the website, try to see how things works, what doesn't work, how the website is supposed to behave and stuff. Then after doing all of that, we'll now go back to our Bob suits. Okay, let me say me, let me not say we, right? Because this is me talking about my methodology, right? So then after that, I will go to my Bob history, then start looking through the request to see, okay, how things are working, what looks interesting, what is raising I what is going to pique my interest and all those kind of stuff, right? So yeah, with that being said, the tax, where is the tax again? Sorry, let me check. What's the tax again? Um, the tax is sorry, quickly. To solve this lab, find the expose API documentation and delete Carlos. Okay, so we are supposed to hunt for the documentation. All right, all right, all right. So yeah, so let's check through our. Okay, let's just click buttons around, right? Just fill the application and then we can go back to our history, right, Habib, to see if there's
Yeah. Right.
any API hiding behind the scene. Okay,
So, and that's one of
so
the things you typically want to do.
yeah,
Like,
open home, new tab. Sorry?
no, I'll say like that's one of the things like you typically want to do, like, just to get a feel of how the application works, and in the process you could discover something that you probably were unaware of. Like in this case, like an API that is running in the background. So
Yeah,
that's why it's always good to have like your suite, running.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I mean, home, we are already familiar with this. Probably have to click around. Let's just check one of these products. View details. Right, nothing much here, just description, return to list, right? But okay, let's check email. So let's update my email to Habib, Hacker Habib, okay, at attacker domain dot hack. Okay, right. So let's update email as well. So just you right. So just use the application the way it is intended and stuff, right? Okay, then I think we've done most of. Okay, we could let's log out as well, right? I mean, so those are the main functions here. So after this, let's go through our Bob history to see if there's any anything there for us. Okay, so HTTP history, we have a lot of requests. Okay, that's interesting. So let me just bring this down a little. Right, so from here you can see various requests, various then URLs, right? So I may want to look at the URL rather, to see if there's anything there for us, right? And then when we take a look here, we can see this request, right? This, I want to believe this is visible enough to everybody. Right, so you
Go
can
to
see,
your
ah,
think you're trying to like
Oh,
maximize
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So
Thank you. Setting, right?
set it correct.
Okay, so
And user interface
thank you, thank you.
and display, and you should have it in display.
Display font size, thank you.
And
11, because
so
I definitely have to come back and change it because this is looking too big. Okay, so I think thank you, Abib. So for our
no, no
viewers,
worries.
you should see it now. So if we scroll through, you should see this API users request. Okay, so I mean, from here now we know like, oh, there's an API somewhere, right? And the request method is actually a patch, right? So this was when I was updating my user email. Okay, so let's copy this, send to repeater where we are going to be playing around with it. Okay, so I'm just going to take this here, right? And so what are we going to do? Let's still, before doing that, so let's copy this just to follow what they were explaining. So I'm going to copy URL to get the URL, right? Then I'm going to go back to my browser, okay? So where I'm going to enter the URL manually into the browser, okay? And then let's hit enter and see what is going to happen. So, okay, unauthorized. So what they were explaining the other time, right, over here, was, okay, I think this is my pop browser, right? So I need the, what is it called? I need to show the lesson the other, now which we're using the other time. Okay, so what was being explained here, so let me take a step back, which is here, right? So now we've seen like, oh, there's API and a couple of things after it, right? Then what we want to do next, which is so let's come here quickly, right? So same thing here, so you can see API slash user slash winner, right? So what they were explaining is we start taking steps backward, right? So we are going to remove winner, right? See, is there anything there for us? Okay, nothing. Then we'll take a step back from users to the API. Is there anything there for us? Okay, now we have the API documentation, right? So we can see this is REST API. Oh no, what just happened? Go back, please. Okay, so this is the API documentation, right? So we can see that we get to, we can send get request for, um, we can send get request for user slash the username, which is going to be a string, right? Then we supply parameter. The parameter is supposed to be empty, right? We can send delete request using slash user slash the username, which is another string, right? And then we can do patch, which is slash g user slash user slash username, and then we supply the email, which is exactly what we saw in the request that we captured, right? So I'm just going to switch screen quickly to Bob Suite now, so the everybody can understand what I mean. Okay, so over here you can see we have patch, we have slash API slash user, and the name of the user in this case is what is winner, right? And then we have the parameter, which is email. Now um for the other type of request, we don't need to supply any parameter. Okay, we spoke about parameter in our last stream, right? So for this now, all we have to do is to construct a malicious request, right? So the task is for us to delete a user. So we just have to craft this delete request and then we'll send it. And that should help us complete the lab. So I'm just going to quickly go back to the lab to be sure of the username we're supposed to delete before we send the request. Okay, so over here, so yeah, so oh, we have to delete Carlos or Carlos, right? Okay, so I'm just going to copy this now. Okay, then I'm going to go to my Bob suit, right, and edit the request. So I know I'm going to use the verb delete, right? So delete,
Based on
change this
our
to delete, and then the user I want to delete is Carlos, right? And then this can be empty. Okay, okay. Then after that, all you have to do from here is to just send the request. Okay, so I'm going to send this now, and
sorry, it looks
method
like
not
your method
allowed.
is
Okay,
you're missing an
thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Okay, so send unauthorized. Okay, now that's interesting. Remember, I logged out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I believe the session has expired. So what I'm just going to quickly do is to log in, have a valid session, and then I'm going to delete the user, right? So let's go back and log in, guys. So we need to be logged in to be able to carry out our attack. Okay, so my account. Okay, so winner, no, WIENER, right? I believe I got it this time. So Peter, okay, so this is going through what is it called? My Bob suits. So I'm just going to change this again to thank you guys at cyberflora.com. Okay, then update the email. Then I'll just run through my Bob suit to get the request. Okay, so I'll just quickly go to proxy, HTTP history, scroll, and then I find the request here. Then I just right click on it, send to repeater, get to repeater, and then I just edit it the same way we did the other time. So I'm going to remove this, okay, and then I'm going to change this to delete, right? And then the user I want to delete is Carlos, okay, and I'm going to send it, and this should work. And we have a response here which says user deleted.
Yeah.
Yay! Call it hacker.
Oh, you're officially a hacker guy.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So yeah, so that's it, guys. Very simple and straightforward. So if we go back to our browser now, we should see that we've solved the lab. Okay.
Right.
So let's check. Yes, congratulations, you solved the lab. So yes, so that is it for our first hack. Guys, that's it for our first hack. All right. So guys, please, I hope you guys are following along and I hope you understood what we've done tonight.
Yep.
So please
Pretty
let
sure.
know in the comment section. Yeah, maybe you're about saying something.
Yeah, no, I was saying like I'm pretty sure our audience are following along. I mean,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, boss. And yeah, do you have anything to say about this particular vulnerability? I mean, uh, um, do you have anything to say? Okay, we have a response from Raymond. Ray, he says, yes, yes, hackers, yes, hackers. Yeah, we have another one from Agwamba Emmanuel. Thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so do you have anything to say about this particular exploit, right, that we've done, aside what was discussed today? Let's say you're writing a report on this. Do you have like any other thing you want to talk about?
Yeah. Okay. So the before I say that, I just wanted to like show our audience like when you access the slash API endpoint, right? The documentation displayed. So I don't know if our audience were following along, but if I'm, I believe you also noticed this that you were able to do this from an unauthenticated perspective, like
Yes,
you were not authenticated
yes,
as any user on the web application, and you were able to have unauthorized access speed, to the API documentation. So that's kind of like a minor security flaw, or I'd say it's a flaw or an oversight. So these kinds of scenarios, these are things that truly happen in real world, pen test engagements, and it just shows that sometimes the smallest misconfiguration or mishap could lead to give an attacker like troves of information that can help them gain unauthorized access into your system. So that's
yeah,
just one thing I wanted to point out as well. And for the putting this in a documentation, of course, I mean, if the API is like, for instance, if it's a private API or it's a partner API, and then you have the documentation exposed, like publicly, then you can have this in your reports that okay, this should be protected. It should only be accessible to authorized personnel, and not to the public. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add. And I think Paul has he left a message
yeah,
as well as Samuel.
yeah. So we have Adebisi Paul saying, yes, even if it's a bit confusing, I'll just rewatch it later again. All right, man, it's okay. It's okay. I believe you are just
Yeah,
starting out. So yeah, it might take you time to grab some of these things. So I highly recommend you rewatch this stream, right? And also, yes, I mean, I'm like an unofficial ambassador for PortSwigger Web Academy, right? Web Security Academy. So yeah, you could
yeah,
also create an account there if you don't have one yet, right? And try to go through the material on your own time, right? Probably do more research on some of the concept and yeah, maybe yeah. It takes time to understand some of these things if you are just starting out. So yes, totally normal. Okay, but I
of
just
course, yeah,
hope we've been able to point you in the right direction. And we
definitely.
have
And
Adeyem. Okay, carry on, Abib.
no, no, sorry. You can go on, please.
Okay, Adeyemi Samuel. Yes, I'm following, even though I'm a newbie in cybersecurity space. All right, you're welcome, man. You're welcome, man. There's enough room for everybody. There's enough room for everybody, okay? And yeah, feel free to join us every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, right? Where we try to talk, have fun, and hack together, right? Just my learn a couple of things, right? While staying with us and hacking with us, right? So hope to see you in the next stream, right? So yeah, most of what Abibab said is absolutely correct, right? And this still speaks to some of the things we learned in today's material. So imagine if we didn't come across this API documentation page, right? It might not have crossed our mind, or it might have taken more time for us to imagine that we want to think about deleting a user, right? But as soon as we saw the API documentation telling us the verb, telling us how to, the endpoint responsible and how to do it, we just went ahead and do and do it, right? So yeah, so that's speaking to what was addressed in the material. Another thing I also want to talk about is like this is a case of also like failed authorization, right? Authorization failure, right? So imagine me being logged in as winner, and then I'm able to delete another user called Carlos, right? So that, I mean, that is another interesting security finding over there, right? So yeah, we've actually exceeded time today, man. But yeah, it seems our audience are really enjoying today's episode. Thanks for your understanding, guys, and thank you, Habib, the master troubleshooter.
No, thank you. I mean, you did all the work.
All
And
right.
of course, thank to your audience as well for sticking with us through the troubleshooting stage. We're deeply sorry for this extreme definitely but basically.
Yeah, by God's grace, man. By God's grace. So thank you, guys. And with this, we'll be hitting the brakes here and see you in the very next episode. But before stopping, just a quick marketing again. So yes, we work at Cyberpura, right? A managed security service provider here in Abuja, Nigeria, right? And we do everything cybersecurity from pen tests to everything offensive security, everything defensive security. And if you have like compliance needs, we can also help you handle that, right? Yeah, so we do everything cybersecurity. Feel free to reach out to us at hello@cyberpura.com, and we will be more than happy to help you. So, till we meet again in the very next episode of Hack Wednesday, guys. Peace.
All right. Thank you all. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye, everybody.